Mayor Cruzen, you can start your meeting.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this special meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, Tuesday, July 14th at 9 a.m. Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Cruzen,
Here.
Comptroller Green,
Here.
President Reed.
Here.
Okay, item presented for the first time. Number 21.001. Request from the President of the Board of Aldermen's Office, Chief of Staff, for approval of Board Bill 92 as amended. This ordinance, in accordance with Article 25, Section 1 of the St. Louis City Charter, recommends the duties of the Division of Correction, amends the duties of the Division of Corrections and the Department of Health and Hospitals, and directs the Commissioner of Corrections to begin the process of closing the St. Louis City Medium Security Institution, MSI, also known as the Workhouse, as a detainee center. This ordinance further authorizes or directs other necessary actions by the Board of Public Service, the Commissioner of Corrections, Department of Personnel, Department of Health, and the Budget Director, and others, as outlined within, to facilitate the closure of the medium security institution.
I move for adoption of item 1 as listed on the agenda.
I'll second it. Is there any discussion? So I have a couple of comments for discussion on this board bill. One, as most of you know, we've been working for 3 years really to improve and to reduce the population at MSI. When I was sworn into office back on April 17th, 2017, there was no air conditioning at MSI. There were hundreds and hundreds of people at MSI with no air conditioning. And so by about Memorial Day, we were able to install some temporary air conditioning. And today, the air conditioning is fully installed in a normal way with ductwork, et cetera, throughout MSI. We've also spent, in total, we've spent probably a little over $6 million on MSI, improving it, bringing it up to standards. MSI is a facility with 2 sections. One, the old section is called the dorms. About a year ago, we closed the dorms. That was the largest section of MSI that held around 800 people, maybe 700 people, 700 to 800. And then the newer section of MSI, which holds about 400 people, is still open. That area is called the pods. So the older section has been closed for over a year. Many improvements have been made to MSI. Nevertheless, as most of you know, we implemented the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. And that is the entire, a group that's been working together for a year and a half. And it is all of the components of the criminal justice system. And so we've done that in order to streamline the system, improve the system, make it better for everyone. So there's been a lot of work that has gone on over the last few years. Today, there are around 90 people at MSI. We cut the budget, as you all know, in half this year. And, you know, we continue to work towards improving MSI and reducing the number of people that are detained there. So that work, of course, makes this board bill more possible. I don't know if the timelines that are set forth in this board bill are possible in light of COVID and some of the other things that are going on, but certainly the administration will work in that direction. I noticed that this board bill, the Board of Aldermen, is directing the activities of many of the departments who report up through the executive board, or the executive office. So we'll look forward to the Board of Aldermen participating in this process. So with that, we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any other discussion?
Madam Mayor, if I may, I did submit a letter that I hope you had a chance, as well as the president of the board had a chance to read. It is indicating in the letter that as this board bill is written to go before the Board of Aldermen as recommended by the Board of E&A, certainly I believe it's meant for the Board of E&A to have some input into this particular board bill and this effort. As you spoke, Madam Mayor, you mentioned the last 3 years you took time to help reduce the numbers at the MSI location, making this board bill even more able to get the closure of MSI a reality. As you know, a couple of years ago, I sent a letter supporting the closure of MSI when I saw the numbers below 300. And I said, it's time for us to put a plan in place. That didn't happen. This board bill calls for a plan to be put in place. But the letter that I sent does indicate that this board bill does not compel anyone to close the workhouse, nor does it have any bells and whistles to ensure the closure of MSI. Additionally, it puts more duties on staff that already come to work with the expectation that they have a full 8-hour work day at the MSI, and that is the Commissioner of Correction and others identified in this board bill. So I think if the City of St. Louis Board of Estimate and Apportionment is serious about closing MSI, the workhouse, then they need to put skin in the game. Skin in the game means that you're going to put money where your mouth is and make the closure of MSI more than a goal, but a reality. So I offer an amendment today to the board bill to help ensure the closure of MSI by offering the professional services of a firm with experience that would help us to meet some milestones and some deadlines in order to come to a final report and closure of the workhouse. So that is what I would like to do in terms of my participation as a member of the Board of E&A, as I would want to be able to say that, you know, if I'm saying that this is recommended by the Board of E&A, then this is my participation. And that is to make sure that this is a real deal, that there's reality here, that there's accountability above and beyond, as opposed to a symbolic gesture, as it were, that we could pass without having skin in the game. Those are my comments.
Madam Mayor, you will.
Yes, President Reed.
The board bill states clearly that the plan is to, the Commissioner of Corrections is to produce a plan that shall result in the closure of the workhouse by December 31, 2020. So this is not a symbolic gesture. This is as real as it gets. The Commissioner of Correction is being directed to carry out that requirement laid out clearly in the bill, right? The bill has been perfected, and as you well know yourself, Madam Mayor, we're out of time to add additional items to the bill. And with the bill already being perfected, you cannot amend the bill, right? So this amendment.
I don't believe we have a motion on this bill, right, on the amendment right now. I hear we're having discussion, but I do not believe there's a motion.
No, there isn't a motion right now, but I'm just saying that the amendment that was just discussed is an amendment that is out of time. It's an amendment that cannot be added to the bill. Matter of fact, only thing that amendment would do is to seek to just kill the bill, and which I'm not in support of. So I'm not going to support the amendment if it is proposed, because number one, you cannot do it. The bill has already been perfected. Number two, the bill lays out clearly that the Commissioner of Corrections is to create a plan that will result in the closure of MSI by a date certain. That's it.
Okay, thank you for your comments, President Reed. Is there anything else on amendment number 1?
Well, I do know that if in fact we are serious about closing MSI, that it's not too late to amend the bill that's still in committee. I understand that it's still in the Rules Committee. I understand if you take it and amend it, then it goes back on the perfection calendar at today's meeting, which the Board of Aldermen full meeting is at 10 o'clock. Put it amendment on, it goes on the perfection calendar so that a little over 3 days later, then it can be voted out of both the Rules Committee as well as the full Board of Aldermen. It takes the courage of President of the Board and others to step up and do the right thing.
Madam Comptroller, do you want to make a motion?
I want to be clear that what the rules are, and I want to be clear that this is possible, and I want to be clear that this coming Monday, if we're talking about closing out and final pass of this bill with the intent of actually getting the workhouse done, it's possible. So I don't want to be misunderstood here that I'm trying to kill this bill as the President of the Board stated. So I want to be clear before I have a motion, because we do have a motion on the floor, and you seconded, Madam Mayor, and now you're asking for a motion of the amendment. But I want to be clear, since the President of the Board has stated some things that are not true here. This amendment is a sincere effort on my part as a member of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, and I want it to be taken very seriously, because I think that the closure of the workhouse is a serious thing. And to direct a single employee who's the Director of Corrections, or not director, but the Commissioner, is one thing, but to put some skin in the game and some muscle behind him is another thing. And so while I'm not disagreeing that the Commissioner would be handed this job as it is written in that board bill, I haven't disagreed one iota. I've only added a lift up, added additional way in which to get this done. And the President of the Board has misinterpreted. So I want to be clear on what I'm offering, just as the President of the Board is trying to be clear on what he is saying. I have read it, but I'm now trying to participate. And if the President of the Board is saying that I cannot participate, that's what he needs to say. But he cannot misinterpret what I have sent in that letter whatsoever. It is clear that this is in addition to the board bill, and it's not meant to kill the board bill, but it's meant to make sure that the closure of the workhouse happens.
Madam Mayor, point of order. We do not have that amendment in front of us to discuss that amendment, but I will address one thing as it relates to process.
As a point of order, do we have a motion to put this amendment? Does anyone want to make that motion?
I move that we would amend Board Bill 92AA as amended to include the amendment that I'm submitting today so that we can hire a professional firm to, let's see, I'll just read it. It says the ordinance shall be supported by an agreement with PFM, a professional firm with professional service to be approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. That's the amendment. That's the amendment that I'm asking for. It would amend Board Bill page number 7, line 4 of Board Bill 92.
Is there a second? Okay, amendment number 1 fails for lack of a second. So now we have before us item number 1 on the E&A agenda, which is the approval of Board Bill 92 as amended. I want to further state a couple of things with regard to this board bill. One, thank you, President Reed, for your work on this. 2, the 90 people that are, this is not a simple process. If it were a simple process, it would have been done by now. The 90 some people that are at MSI are being held there on felony charges. It would be irresponsible for us to send all of them home today. That would not take care of the public safety that we need to be taking care of for our people here in the city of St. Louis. So we have to balance in the mayor's office, we have to balance the public safety with our desire to close MSI. And so that is what we have been doing for the last 3 years. And there has been a lot of progress made. But certainly we will continue to work on this to find a safe resolution to holding the people that no one in the mayor's office or the president's office or the comptroller's office has anything to do, frankly, with who is held in jail. Those decisions are made by judges who sit across the street here from City Hall, who set bonds, who determine those individuals who need to be detained. And so we are certainly going to continue to work on this with all of the components of the criminal justice system. And we will do that whether this board bill is in place or not. And it is possible that we might engage some other consultants in this matter at some point in time. But at this point in time, I think we are, it sounds like we are all in agreement on item number 1, which is the E&A passing Board Bill 92 as amended. And so if there is further discussion, let me know. If there is no further discussion, let's have a roll call vote.
Well, Madam Mayor, thank you for that. I would like to make a final statement, if I may. I want to agree that we do not want to be irresponsible when we take up this closure of the workhouse and by letting out people who are clearly should not be let out. So that's a statement that I would like to make. So when we look at the target date of December, which is less than 6 months from now, that's something of concerning to me without the support of professional services. However, you just mentioned that you might have another consulting firm that you would be interested in. And so I take that to heart and understand that the Board of Aldermen President and yourself, Madam Mayor.
No, let me be
will,
clear. I have no one else in mind. Let me be clear.
Well, I
about
did
that.
not say that you did, and be clear that I am only repeating what you said, and I'm not putting other words with that. But you did say that there might be another consulting firm. So I want to be clear that this is the Board of E&A, the 3 members, not just 2. Today it takes 2 votes to pass Board Bill 92, and it moves forward. And I want to be on record of making clear that I think that the professional services of a firm, whether it be one I recommend, Madam Mayor, or one that you and Board President Reed recommend, whoever recommends it, I think that in order to make the closure happen in a responsible manner, that's necessary. So that's the point that I'm trying to make, not that you already have someone. So I want to be clear about that.
Thank you.
So,
Madam Mayor, if you will, there isn't one provision within the board bill that handicaps or disallows the Commissioner of Corrections from utilizing any professional service firm that they have on their list of firms to use, right, to utilize. Matter of fact, I think it would be, grave error to force a specific firm on the Commissioner of Corrections, because it would tie his hands in this case in terms of using the firm that would best suit him. And I also want to just thank you and the Comptroller for all of the work that you've done up until this point to decrease the population in MSI that allows us to take up this bill. And I appreciate your support moving forward and your favorable approval of the board bill.
Okay. Stephanie, would you please call the roll? Before us is a motion and a second on item number 1 on the E&A agenda, which is the approval of Board Bill 92 as amended.
Mayor Cruzen,
Aye.
Comptroller Green, President Reed,
Aye.
Comptroller Green,
Stephanie, can you hear me?
yes. I was just calling for the vote.
Abstain.
Okay.
2 ayes,
By
1
our votes, 2 aye votes, 1 abstention. Item number 1 on the agenda passes out of E&A.
I move that we adjourn this session of the board meeting.
Second. All in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Thanks.
Aye.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow.